Hello people, I'm Gage, and this video is going to be a bit negative. I mean, bad is literally in the title, so if that's not your thing, you might want to skip out on this one and I'll see you next time. But, for those who are here for that, let's talk about some of the bad things about Nintendo Switch 2. There's not as many bad things with this console as there are good things, but the bad things are pretty big, so let's get into it. First thing I want to bring up is the system price. Now, this isn't the biggest thing, to me anyway. $400 was the expected price for me. I did kind of expect maybe $450. It was $400 to $450 was what I expected for this console. I really hoped it would be $400. We always hope that it would be cheaper. But it wasn't. It was $450, and now I find it hard to afford a game with this thing, to be completely honest. I can barely afford the system itself. But, yeah, they're doing a bundle with Mario Kart, making this thing $500, so that's fun. But yeah, the system price by itself is $450. It's, for what the system is, it's a good price, honestly. It's not a bad price. It's an okay price. It's acceptable. It's not bad. It's not a bad price like a lot of people are saying it is. It's not bad. Could it be better? Could it be cheaper? Yeah, everything can always be cheaper. Now, $450 for the system is good. That's fine. That's okay. That's an okay price. But the games for this console are extremely expensive. And I'm not even, like, taking it lightly. These games are way too expensive. It's insane. So one thing I want to bring up is that if you don't already have a Nintendo Switch, or you don't have a, like, collection of Nintendo Switch games, the Switch 2, as of right now, is really not worth it, like, at all. The only thing you're really going to get so far, as we know of, is Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Ride has no release date yet, it's just for this year, and we know that Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming out in winter. So there's 4 games coming out this year, but 2 of them don't have release dates, and Mario Kart's $80, and Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. So that's a lot. But Mario Kart is a launch title. Let's talk about this. So, if you buy the Nintendo Switch for $450 and you buy Mario Kart for $80, if you buy them both separately, that's a lot of money. That's like $530. That is ridiculous. That is so much money. But again, they do have a bundle for $500. And, you know, let's say you get that bundle for $500. Let's say you get that bundle for $500. Oh my god, dude. If you do not have any Switch games, and you want to play some of the upgraded Switch games, you're screwed. You're just screwed. Because the games are still expensive. On launch day, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will be available for Nintendo Switch 2. The problem is there's $70 for Breath of the Wild and $80 for Tears of the Kingdom. Those are $10 upgrades. So, here's what you should do. Buy pre-owned copies of these games. Do not buy these physically in the store. If you're going to buy them physically, buy them pre-owned, because they will be cheaper. And you need these games to be cheaper, because the DLC, or not DLC, the upgrade for this game is $10. You pay $10 for an upgrade. So for Breath of the Wild, you'll pay $10 to get the enhanced visuals and the weird Google Maps thing in the game that shows you where the poop seeds are. It's the same thing with Tears of the Kingdom, but here's the thing, Tears of the Kingdom was already $70, you pay an extra $10, and you've just paid $80 on one video game, and for Breath of the Wild, you've just paid $70 on a $60 video game. So, buy these games. Oh my god. Did you hear that? God, that was some loud thunder, dude. I think my mic picked that up. Anyway, let's talk about this. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, buy pre-owned copies of games, because if you don't, you're going to be spending a ton of money on these games. $70 for Breath of the Wild, which is a game that is nearly an entire decade old, and then Tears of the Kingdom, which is already like, what, 3 or 4 years old? Yeah, Don't pay $80 and $70 for these old games. Buy pre-owned, upgrade on Switch 2 for $10. That's what you need to do to save money on here. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna be paying way too much money. These games are way overpriced, which is why Nintendo needs to bring back Nintendo Selects, like, really badly. It's ridiculous that they haven't. So yeah, that's what you want to do with your Zelda games. Again, you should not buy a Switch 2 if you do not have a previous collection of Nintendo Switch games. Because right now, there's only like 4 games to get, and 2 of them don't have release dates. So just don't get the Switch 2 yet. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait on it. Just wait a bit. Unless you are literally only buying it for Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, there's really no point in buying a Switch 2 right now. It's ridiculous. It's so expensive to just buy these games. You need to have a previously owned collection of Nintendo Switch games to be able to actually enjoy this console. So if that ain't you, don't buy the Switch 2. Wait a bit. But you know, some of these upgraded games, that's not even the most egregious pricing. The most egregious pricing on a game for the Switch 2 is not Mario Kart World, believe it or not. Mario Kart World is $80? Fine. Fine, whatever. That's a brand new open world Mario Kart game. I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna play it. The most egregious thing is if you have not already owned Super Mario Party Jamboree, there's now a $20 DLC to go with it. Now, the game itself is $60. The $20 DLC is obviously, well, it's $20. So, that's $80 for one game. So, Super Mario Party Jamboree is $80 if you don't already have it on Switch. It's $80 for the DLC and all the upgrades and stuff. If you want to play the DLC and all the upgrades and stuff, guess what's required? This Nintendo Switch 2 camera. That camera is $50. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So you're paying $80 for Super Mario Party Jamboree and its DLC, and then you're paying another $50 for this Switch camera so you can actually play the DLC. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. You want to know how much that is? That is $130 for one game and its DLC, because you need the camera. Now, if you already own Super Mario Party Jamboree, okay. This is essentially just $70 DLC. Now, the good thing is, you buy the camera one time, so if there are any future games that use this camera, then you do not need to buy it again. Thank God. Unless it breaks, unless you snap it in half. I don't know, maybe Nintendo will repair it, who knows? Yeah, if you're going to buy this game, you might want to wait a little while. Maybe get yourself a third-party camera, because apparently those might work with the Switch 2. I'm not entirely sure on that, but if a third-party USB-C camera plugs into the top port of the Nintendo Switch 2 and works for the voice chat and whatever, that should be fine. I think that'll be good. We'll see. We'll see how that works. But third-party cameras are by far going to be the cheapest option if you're going to buy the camera for this game. You need to budget for this, because it is $130 if you want to buy the official Nintendo Switch 2 camera. That is ridiculous. And you know what? I want to play Super Mario Party Jamboree, and I was like, oh cool, DLC! I have to pay $50 per camera. I don't own a webcam, except for this, that I use to record my YouTube videos, but yeah, I don't own any other kind of webcam, so I'd have to pay $50 for a Nintendo Switch 2 webcam, or camera, or I could just figure out what third-party camera works, and hopefully that'd be cheaper. Hopefully it'd be like 20, 30 bucks. Either way, I'd be saving some money off of this $130 game that would be for me, because, man, I want to play this game. I don't want to pay $130 to play it, dude. That is ridiculous. Dude, the console itself is $450. And then, say you want to play Mario Party Jamboree and the DLC, which comes out in July, and you have to get the camera so you can play the DLC. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, and that's not even including the fact that you need to buy Nintendo Switch Online. That's $20. So if you want to play the DLC online, that's $150. That's another $150. So that's just making this whole thing $600, with not even including Mario Kart. Like, that's ridiculous. But you don't have to play online, unless you're using the camera. The camera is all online, I believe. So Actually, I think this entire mode is online, right? This whole mode has to be online. I might be completely wrong on that. I might have looked at the trailer wrong. Yeah, we'll get rid of Nintendo Switch Online. It's still $130, which is ridiculous. So yeah, that's the most egregious pricing for any game on this console so far. But that's not the most egregious thing about the Nintendo Switch 2. The most egregious thing about Nintendo Switch 2 is this Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour being worth money. You had to pay for this. After, okay, imagine this. You get home, you have your $500 Nintendo Switch 2 with Mario Kart, and then you're like, oh, I wonder, you know, maybe you're a kid, your mom buys you this thing, and you're like a little kid, you're like, I don't know how to play with this, I wonder how to do it. And then, you know, you see there's this tour that teaches you everything about the system. And then you find out it's $10 or something. I think it's $10. Either way, it shouldn't be worth any money. Again, if you're paying $500 for this thing, you're not gonna want to spend more. Who is gonna buy this? Especially when it looks like this. Look at how soulless it is. It looks so bland and lame. Oh, look, that's how you use magnets. Whoa. What are magnets? I wonder how magnets work. Whoa, whoa. Oh, look, I'm playing a golf game I could play on PC for free. I mean, like, dude, this is stupid. Why is this worth any money? It looks so lame. It's so lame. And it's still, if it's $10, why is it worth anything? You're just charging people for no reason at that point. It's like this was made to be a pack-in game, and then they just, at the last second, decided to charge people for it. That's what this game looks like. Every single direct reaction I have seen to this has thought that this was a pack-in title, and then was immediately disappointed when they saw that this was a paid game. A paid digital-only game. That is so ridiculous. This should be free. This should come pre-installed on the console. If not pre-installed, then download it for free on the eShop. But this is stupid. This is absolutely appalling and disgusting. It's so stupid. It feels like, again, this feels like it was made to be a free thing on the system, but they just decided, maybe some big shot at the company decided, no, we gotta sell that for something, and they decided on $10. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It should not be worth anything. If you're gonna make it worth $10, it shouldn't be worth anything at all. I mean, come on. At least with these upgrades for these games, you're getting, like, a ton of work put into it. Like, dude, look. This whole giant game had to be optimized for this system. It had to be fixed up. The lighting had to be redone in some ways with some of these upgrades for these games. But no, for this game, it's this crappy tutorial on how to use a Nintendo Switch 2. Why is this worth any money? This should be free. This is ridiculous. That's the most egregious thing out of anything we saw. Is this thing being worth anything at all? Make it free, Nintendo. Next up is something that is, like, small, so we're done with the big stuff. We're going into the smaller stuff now, okay? We're winding down. We're gonna wind down a bit. There are only 3 GameCube games. There's only 3 GameCube games at launch. Maybe 4. Maybe 4. The 3 GameCube games that were announced in the Direct, anyway, were The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, the original version, so we're not getting the HD version, so that's one disappointment. Soul Calibur 2 is on there, and also F-Zero GX is on there as well. So those are the games announced for this. Now, if you're not a Zelda fan, this sucks for you, because Link is in 2 of those games. Link is in 2 of those games on there. And if you're not an F-Zero guy, well, I mean, this whole thing doesn't matter at all then. So yeah, it is a new addition to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. It's really cool. I'm actually just happy in general that GameCube is on NSO, but this is the beginning of the drip feed again. And you know what? You want to know something that is super disappointing? They didn't even announce that Melee would come to this in the future. Melee was nowhere to be seen. Super Smash Bros. Melee wasn't even seen at all in this. That is the best sold GameCube game. It sold nearly 8 million copies, and yet it's not even seen here at all. That is ridiculous. I mean, it's not something to be really mad over. They still haven't added Super Smash Bros. 64 to the Nintendo 64 online app, but this is so lame. It's so lame. There's only 3 games, and sure, those 3 games look really good. I mean, Wind Waker's... I've never played any of these games, to be completely honest. I haven't played any of these, but Link is in Soul Calibur 2. The Wind Waker is a really good game, I've heard, and I've also heard that F-Zero GX is a really good game, and you can play it online with in multiplayer now, which is really cool. You can play the multiplayer games online in multiplayer with these apps, which is really good. But yeah, it's just really disappointing that there's only 3 games. Now, there might be 4. In the Nintendo Treehouse gameplay, they had Mario Strikers on there already, so that might be available at launch or close to launch, which is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, it's just kind of lame that there's only a few games on here. I kind of wish they put more on here. At least Mario Sunshine. I hate that game to death, but like, you could have put it on here, man. You could have put it on here. And now the final thing, which is, again, not the most important thing ever, but I mean, I have to talk about it. I'm a physical game collector. I have to talk about it. This game... These game boxes, they don't look good at all, especially the Metroid Prime 4 one. The Metroid Prime 4 one is like probably the worst one out of all of these. Okay, just look at Metroid Prime 4's box art. Half of it is taken up by random borders that don't need to be there. Okay, so at the bottom we have this giant like legalese paragraph of bullcrap, and then at the top we have this banner that takes up like a third of the entire top half of the case. It's so stupid. It's so bad. It all looks really bad. I don't like it. I mean, it's not like the worst thing ever made. Like, it's not terrible. It's not horrible. But I'm not gonna say it looks good, because it doesn't. It looks really bad. It looks so bad. My god, it's not good. It's not good. Now, let me actually talk about something else with this. Now, come here. Let me show you this. This is Xenoblade Chronicles for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is the height of a Nintendo Switch game for the Nintendo Switch. Now, here's what what we think the height is gonna be for the Nintendo Switch 2 games. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. Look at this. This looks awful. What the? No. No. It's like almost an entire inch, just bigger. Now, it's not going to be wider, I believe. I hope not, anyway, because if it's wider, it won't even fit well next to these. Like, these right here, the spines will not align if I push the case all the way back in. So, Nintendo, dude, please. Please don't make these terrible. Now, I will admit, I do like the red case. You know how this is like just a plastic, just like boring plastic case? I like how the Switch 2 is using like a big red, strong red color. I really love that. It's really cool. I also love the red cartridges, but I also hate the fact that the boxes are bigger because they all hold this thing in them. See, look how tiny this is. Look how tiny it is. Look how tiny it is. Anyway, now that the Switch 2 cartridges are red, I wonder if they taste like strawberries.